Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a quad explosive harpoon gun. This gun is technically a legacy now since Bethesda decided to patch the ability for harpoon guns to have explosive harpoons. But anyway, this thing is basically like a big gun shotgun, and we're going to test it on a couple different targets. And here we have it, our quad explosive harpoon gun with 15% faster reload speed. Now, that 15% doesn't sound like a lot, and even though we have 4 harpoons in this, we're still going to be reloading this thing a lot, so that's a nice roll to have. Probably one of the best rolls you could have on the 3rd star there. You'll also notice I have a scope on this thing, and I also have a scope reticle replacer mod, so if it looks a little funny when I zoom in, that's why. But anyway, let's hop in here and deal with some of these ghouls. Looks like we have a legendary, but let's clean up a few other of these ghouls before we take a look and see what that is. I like to use this thing, like a lot of other shotguns, in vats, because it kind of puts all the projectiles onto one spot. You don't end up just hitting with, 2 instead of all of the projectiles that it should hit with. And kind of obviously it's one-tapping these ghouls, which is not a surprise for a weapon that read out doing like 1,000 plus damage, so no surprise there. I will say this is not the most agile weapon out there. It's definitely not the most flexible weapon, and I'm going to be honest, despite it being a shotgun type weapon, I actually think this thing is better at range with more of a marksman role. And yeah, I'm not running blocker because I'm trying to get the most damage out of this thing that I can, and I'm paying the price for it a little bit. Now, one of the nice things about running a harpoon gun is that you can recover a harpoon from your, enemies. You can even just find a dead body and keep shooting the dead body, and you'll get infinite harpoons. So it's a very ammo-conscious weapon if you're someone who struggles with having enough ammo. And like I said, I'm not running blocker, and I'm paying the price for it. But before a recent patch, this weapon was actually not so great because it suffered greatly from item degradation, much the same as any explosive launcher weapons and explosive shotguns, but now you can operate this thing for quite a while without having to repair it, while also being, like I said, very ammo conscious. Stupid Wendigo. Now let's clean up the rest of them. Like I said, this weapon is actually pretty good. It's actually probably even better than I could use it. I'm having a lot of operator error today and being a stupid idiot. But anyway, let's move on and kill some. And here we are at Mutiesville to see how this big, massive nautical weapon does against green mutant abominations. And unsurprisingly, it one-shots them. And we pop in and, like I said, try and use this thing as more of a marksman weapon. Obviously, you won't always one-hit everything, seeing as we're using the flechette mods, and it is, in fact, a shotgun. Also, I don't think that this weapon has the greatest range stat. You can see sometimes VATS targeting doesn't always work out. Also, I am not at nerd rage threshold, so we should probably eat some of this irradiated shit and get our health below 20%. To get the most damage we can. Where is he? They're trying to pull a cheeky flank, but it didn't work out for them. It didn't work out for that dog either. Let's hop up here. We gotta be careful. The explosive splash damage from this thing will do a fair bit of damage if you're not running armor mods or a perk to mitigate explosive damage, which I never do. Alright, let's head over to the other gate and deal with the rest of them. This is doing pretty well against big muties, but I'm going to be honest, that's not a big surprise. Big, dumb mutants go down pretty easy, so try and use this thing as a designated marksman's harpoon gun. And like I've said, You know, I like it as a marksman weapon, but it doesn't have the greatest range, so you won't always hit with all the projectiles. But anyway, let's move on and see how this thing does against some disgusting degenerate. And here we are at Blake's offering to remove some degenerate cultists, and we see there is a Protectron out in the distance there. I'm going to try and snipe him. And looks like we can do it with his sneak attack nonetheless. Let's see it. That's right, guys. Explosive harpoon guns are the next stealth meta. God, I hate these guys. They're so dumb. I hate fucking Mothman cultists. Every time I come here and kill more of them, it sparks joy. Now, I want to see what the hell this commotion down on the highway is. What? What's he got? He's got a plasma flamer. I don't see NPCs with plasma flamers that often. Is that what? Brotherhood or the settlers? Settlers. Wow, he took that robot down. Wow, I legitimately have not seen a settler with a plasma flamer. God, he doesn't even look at the explosion, and he is kitted the fuck out with some loot. That settler's, he's alright. I'm gonna leave him be. Let him do his thing. Wow. How about that? Well, I think we all know who lives here. Let's see how it does. For the headshot, we need to get a little closer. Missed that one. One good headshot. Here I was thinking we were going to have some fun. Half the time, this deathlock kills me. The other half of the time, I take him out too fast. And this time I took him out too fast. So everyone knows what that means. That means we have to come here to Gulper Lagoon to see how it does against a real challenge. The apex predator, the Gulper. Oh, it took the whole mag. Wow. These Gulpers are tanky as fuck. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, these guys are the true apex predator. They live in the fucking trees. They gulp. But even so, there's still no match for this ridiculous weapon. Yep. Gulpers. God, imagine getting killed by gulpers. What a way to go. Just getting gulped. And here we are at the pond, and we're gonna snipe this big green wet idiot. See how many it takes. 3, 4. Yeah, probably do it in 3 if you get close enough. But anyway, this weapon's pretty good. It's a solid A tier weapon. If you're a big gunner, this will fit right in your arsenal. If you're a shotgunner, it might be worth using as well. Although this weapon takes big gunner perks. It's a good weapon, a bit of a novelty. I wouldn't trade an arm and a leg for it, but I would trade a healthy amount for it. Personally, I wouldn't daily drive this thing for very long. It's a bit awkward, and quite frankly, there are better weapons to deal with crowds and better weapons to deal with big targets. So this is a bit of an awkward one, and like I said, a bit of a novelty. Thanks for watching, guys. I know this weapon is a bit interesting. It's a bit of an oddity. Hopefully you have one of these and don't have to deal with some Market 76 dweeb trying to swindle you out of all your good loot. Hopefully Bethesda also reintroduces it into the loot pool, so we don't have just another one of these weapons that is legacy and rare for no reason and never gets fixed. But it is what it is, and hopefully you've got one. If you don't, then, well, good luck getting one.